So let's dive right into it. So we're going to talk about a few things today, a lot of things that we have to cover. And here's a general outline for what we're going to be discussing. First, we're going to cover the motivation behind CryptoLink. Now, I think this is very important because oftentimes projects, they sometimes the people who are participating in the projects, they may even forget why they're even doing their project. And that's not cool. And we also don't want our community to be confused on why a project is here, why we're doing what we are doing. We want to stress again our motivation and to say that we are on track to our goals, and that we're very excited to be very close, and to be releasing what we've been promising for so long. And that is the cross-chain DEX release date, the cross-chain DEX update. And that will, of course, then it's going to be updated with paper, ink. We have a new feature called Bridge Miners that we're very excited to share with you guys today. We'll then touch on earning rewards, our general roadmap, an update on Goss, and another partnership announcement. And then we'll close out with the cross-chain chats update and a Q&A at the end. So I want you guys, each and every one of you guys right now, to think about your first time bridging. Think about how that experience was. Was it fun? Was it enjoyable? How long did it take you? Did it take 30 minutes? Did it take an hour? Was it expensive? For mine, I bridged from the Phantom chain to the Polygon chain, and it was atrocious. It took 2 hours. I used a traditional bridge, one that happened to be on Spirit Swap at the time, and the fees were extremely high. It was very hard to learn how to actually go about bridging. And then when I took that leap of faith, like I said, it took 2 hours in order to send that transaction across. I think I sent $300. Not a good overall experience, and not a good experience just for a new crypto investor, someone dipping their feet in DeFi to first gain confidence in what DeFi is in the general infrastructure of the space. It's actually quite repelling. And the example that I have right here that I'm sharing is being able to swap from the Sphere token to the Cake token. And these tokens are on different blockchains. Sphere is on the Polygon blockchain, while Cake is on the Binance Smart Chain. It takes 3 platforms, 4 different contract interactions, and 15 minutes of your time if you know what you're doing. And that's the best case scenario, where the bridging part of it takes between 10 minutes, 30 minutes on a good day. If that is congested, if there's a problem, then it's going to take significantly longer. Bottom line, it is DeFi in its current state is not interoperable. It is not easy to be able to send value from chain to chain, and it's not easy to learn. And this is where we come in. This is where CryptoLink comes in. We have solved this issue. Everything can all be done now in one platform, one click, and as fast as the blockchain can go. Most of the time, with our messaging layer technology, the funds will arrive faster than you can switch blockchains. And we think that is absolutely amazing. And we're going to get into more of this in a bit. So the underlying magic as to what's going on, to remind everybody, is that our cross-chain messaging system can send any form of data cross-chain. And we can do this in a quick, secure, trustless, and a decentralized manner. The foundation of what we do is this cross-chain messaging layer. And we package this up into something we call TBAS, or Trustless Bridging as a Service, where we're offering this to other projects as well, where they can use our messaging layer to do just about anything. It doesn't pertain to only tokens. It can be tokens, NFTs, messages, notifications, any form of data we can send cross-chain at this lightning speed at which we do. Paper is just an instance of the TBAS and what TBAS is capable of. Now, Paper itself is a TBAS client, and on top of Paper, you can think of that as our middle layer. That's what we're operating on right now. If you were to go to the CryptoLink.tech website and check out our bridge, that is the Paper bridge using TBAS. Now, this next update, we're taking it one step further, and we're building on top of the Paper bridge into a cross-chain DEX and DEX aggregator that instantly routes all cross-chain transactions through the Paper token, which will then allow users to be able to reach any token on any chain they please. And it's something we're very, very excited about. I probably said that a few times just now. But that's what we offer. And that's this cross-chain swap. That's our B2C option. And this is going to be launched on New Year's Eve. So that's, if anyone who's wondering when. New Year's Eve. This will first be rolled out as an any native to any native swap, and it will expand as Q1 progresses. Next is our trustless bridging as a service, which I touched a little bit about. This is our B2B solution, where we're actively selling our technology as a service to other projects, and they can bring their tokens, NFTs, all forms of data cross-chain. Now, we really want to hone in on the ease of access of what this is going to do. This is going to make DeFi accessible to the average web user, to convert Web 2 users into Web 3 users in a very, very easy way that's interoperable, that they can unlock their true potential of just being able to free themselves from traditional financial means to then move on into the DeFi space. We are building something that is extremely secure in the way where Atlas is a security whiz, and everything that we are building is designed with security in mind. And one of these updates that we have a little bit later on in this presentation, it is a whole new factor. This is the bridge miners that's going to extremely increase our security, and that no other bridges that we know of are doing it exactly like this. A lot of these other bridges, a lot of these other projects they have one main point of failure, and that's to the bridge itself. And essentially what we're doing to increase security is further decentralizing this risk to anyone who it wants to become a miner or a validator, and they're going to be able to help validate our bridging transactions and then receive a cut from that. So Wally's going to touch on that in a bit, but we're very security minded here is the point I want to make. Now, there are going to be updates to our two major tokens. That's the Paper token and the Ink token. Things are going to be changing as the any-to-any is released. Now, the Paper token, for those of you who don't know, is our bridging token, and it's going to be stakeable for rewards. Now, where the updates come in is that well, really, I'm going to go through each of the bullet points here. But there's 50 million Paper, and that's a cap on the Paper supply. But new paper emitted is going to stop, meaning that we're going to be no longer printing the Paper token out of thin air and then rewarding it to people, because what that does is it hurts the overall protocol, and what people can do is then hurt the overall LP. We're transitioning Paper to become a sustainable model where Paper LP stakers are rewarded directly from the DEX fees directly off the top of the DEX. There is no tax on Paper. There's no buy tax, no sell tax, no transfer, no LP. Paper was never had any of these buy sell taxes, and it never will. The bridging Paper will now incur a 0.5% bridging fee, kind of how we touched on in our last town hall meeting, where the cross-chain DEX will be a 0.3% on each side of the DEX, and then a 0.5 bridging fee. All paper transactions will have this 0.5% bridging fee. Like I said, the emissions of paper are we're not going to be printing it out of thin air anymore. They're going to be LP'd, and then when they're staked into a liquidity pool, these paper stakers are going to earn native tokens on the blockchain. Paper itself is designed as an index to track the overall crypto market, and when it's paired with the natives on each chain, it's going to ebb and flow with all the blockchains that we're paired with, meaning that it tracks the overall crypto market. And because we are burning paper on every transaction, we're burning 1%. 1% of our transactions are used to burn paper. Paper is going to beat the overall market, and it's designed to beat the overall market in the way that it's functioning. And again, for the arbitrage opportunities, hedgeability, where this is something that's very, very important, is that we as a protocol, we want to be able to give back to the community in these arbitrage opportunities. And some of you might be thinking, okay, well, with the bridging fee, that might be a little bit harder. It's not. It's not. It's going to be just the same. And a way around it, if you want to still have zero bridging fees, are the cross-chain cosmonauts NFTs. If you have these NFTs, you are essentially you have zero fees on all your transactions. You can arbitrage for free, which is fantastic, and it's a way that we're allowing for paper bridging to still be free. Now to move on to the Ink token, an update on Ink. Ink in itself is the rewards and the governance token. You can stake Ink for rewards from the overall protocol. There's only going to be 100,000 Ink per chain, but when we launch the any-to-any swap DEX, Ink emissions are also going to be cut. And this is cool because everyone who has currently had Ink, your percentage of the Ink pool is going to now be significantly higher. And that means that you are now going to own a significantly more percentage of that Ink that is in circulation, which is great for you because once you LP it and start to earn rewards, you'll earn more rewards that are allocated to that pool. We are now removing all buy taxes, sell taxes, transfer taxes, all LP taxes on Ink at the start of the any-to-any swap launch. We initially had taxes beforehand on Ink. We had a buy and sell tax. Those are going to be going away. Ink is not bridgeable, and we want to reserve the right to emit Ink on new blockchains. We don't want to fully say that we're never going to emit any Ink ever again on new blockchains. We want to keep that door open just in case for at a future date, a future time, if there's ever an opportunity based on our financial modeling that says that we should start emitting Ink again, we want to leave that door open. But for the time being, assume that there's going to be no more Ink emitted on new blockchains. And if you're an Ink holder, that's good because that means that the overall Ink supply is not being diluted. Overall, for how our Ink holders going to be rewarded, how we're going to fulfill our promises, Ink native LP holders are going to be allocated profits raised from the DEX, from TBAS, and from our overall profits. So none of that is going away. All that is going to stay the same. Ink holders are going to benefit. Now, I want to pass it on to Wally to discuss our newest addition, the bridge miners.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Cletus. All right, guys, this is the newest addition to the ecosystem. This is what we've been kind of alluding to the last few days, and what Cletus just kind of talked about and touched on is the bridge miners. So the bridge miners essentially act as validator nodes for the bridge. You can kind of conceptualize it in a way where Atlas has built almost a perpendicular blockchain running through all these other blockchains. You need to validate these bridging transactions. And currently, we are the central source of validation for our bridge, just like most other bridges. Atlas would like to decentralize that, and we're going to now be selling bridge miners. And so a large liquidity provider or investor, or a large project, whale, anybody with that would like to get involved in a large way in the project could purchase a bridge miner, and we would meet with them, go over deployment of that, and the cost is in USDC. It would be zapped right into liquidity. So that's something what we could talk cost and things like that in a meeting if somebody would like to inquire about becoming a bridge miner. But they would require a small, lightweight piece of hardware to be ran on your end. But it is incredibly cool stuff because what it's doing is it's removing attack vectors. It further decentralizes the trust of the bridge. It's adding all these different layers. Atlas says, and I think in his words specifically, he would sleep a lot better at night if we had 3+ bridge miners per chain. So we are very, very excited to go out and sell these. If you know anybody that would be interested, if you yourself is interested, or you know any projects that are looking to put some money in some place to try to make some returns, bridge miners would be a great bet for them. And we will talk about the percentage that goes back to bridge miners here in a moment. But this is an awesome way for us to decentralize the bridge even further and really set us apart from the rest of the cross-chain market. This really makes us even more unique than we were before. We're very excited about it. So we can move on, Cletus. So we'll go on to the fee structure real quick, guys. So we'll have a 25-cent minimum trading fee on all swaps. So that'll be baseline. And then from there, it will scale up to a 1.1% for a cross-chain transaction. So we got 0.3 on intrachain and a 0.5 cross-chain. Those are fairly market standard. So 0.3 on the intrachain DEX side, and then a 0.5% cross-chain bridging fee. And that'll total a 1.1%, with a minimum of 25 cents if you don't hit that 25 cents with the 1.1%. But it's pretty standard there, guys. Fees are subject to change in the future just for us to stay competitive in the market. Right now, these are competitive rates, and we believe we've done plenty of market research to show that. But you know, if that does change in the future, we want to be able to adjust in real time and be proactive there, and make sure that we keep this thing running smoothly. So this is, we'll go back to rewards here for a quick second. 10% of our rewards are going back to Paper Native, and this is very exciting. I'm like so excited to tell you guys this, but we're giving rewards back in blockchain native token. So if you are staked on Polygon, whether it's Ink native, Paper native, or you're a bridge miner or validator on that chain, or or a project that has our widget displayed on your website, so you're collecting a 5% source reward, you are going to get that back in Matic. If you're on BSC, you're going to get that back in BNB. So this is, I'm right there. We didn't want to give it back in paper. We wanted to set ourselves apart again from the rest of the market. And this I believe really sets us apart from a lot of the entire crypto market and DeFi market, which is we're giving rewards back in blockchain native token. We're not giving it back in our token. We're not printing our token into infinity and giving it back to people, diluting the supply, diluting your value. We are actually just going to give it back to you in blockchain native. And you know what? If you want to come back and buy paper with that, great, man. That's awesome. And if you don't, if you want to take it and go do something else with it because it's your money and you earned it because you staked it there and we told you we were going to give you rewards, perfect. Awesome. That's great. You should be able to do that. You should have the freedom to do that without having to sell paper. So very excited to be giving back rewards in blockchain native. It looks like Cheese is excited. Glad you're excited, Cheeses. And I hope everybody else is excited too. I really think this is unique in the market and it sets us apart greatly. So just to go over those percentages again, 10% to paper native, 5% to ink native. We're going to give 20% back to our bridge miners, which is a very good deal and it's a very attractive deal. But to be a bridge miner isn't going to be a cheap endeavor necessarily. So that's why, you know, it's on a meeting to meeting basis, but we do have a price scale there. But it'll be expensive. It will be healthy for the protocol and they will get a good chunk back in rewards there because they will deserve that. 5% source rewards, like I said, that would be for any project that wants to display the any to any widget on their website, right? So kind of expanding our reach outward in a sort of marketing way and giving the source 5% back off the top there in the rewards. So All right, how to earn. So we will be, you will have to lock for a minimum of 1 week. That was just part of what it is in the contract. That's just how it was coded. Atlas, I don't even think could change that. That wasn't even up to him. So 1 week we'll get 50% of that, 10% going back to paper native LP. 1 month we'll get 70% of that 10%, and 3 months we'll get 100% of that 10%, right? So if you lock your paper native LP for 3 months, you will get the full allocation that you are allotted for that 10% back to paper native LP. We want to incentivize keeping liquidity locked, obviously, for at least a period of time, because we need to build liquidity, guys. That is important for a bridge, that is important for a cross-chain swap, because we need to limit slippage to get traction on this thing. We didn't want to force people to lock for 3 months, 6 months to a year, without your choice. That we didn't believe in that. We believe you should be in control of your money. So the minimum locking period, we brought it down to a week. We think that's reasonable. You have to be staked for the whole week to get the rewards, which we also think is fairly reasonable there. And then obviously the longer you lock, the more rewards you're going to get, and you're going to get those rewards back. Cletus, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we're looking at a 7-day epic there, right?
Correct, correct. Every week, the rewards will be distributed. So the minimum staking is 1 week. So they need to be able to stake for the minimum period of time, which is 1 week, to be able to see those rewards. But yes.
Yep. So I think that's pretty straightforward there, pretty self-explanatory. We can go on here. So right now we're going to talk a little bit about what our market is. What is the market we're trying to tap into, and what is the size of that market? So right here we have two screenshots from DeFi Llama, and this is from today, if I'm correct, actually. Cletus, am I correct there?
Yes, that's from today.
Perfect.
Yes.
Awesome. So on the top, you have the bridge volume across all of crypto, according to DeFi Llama, from what DeFi Llama tracks. And then you have on the bottom DEX volume. So what we're going to show in the revenue models here in the next few slides are going to be referencing the top box. So that'll be just bridge volume. We think that's the safer way to go about our estimates. And the numbers are still very good, very juicy with the safe estimates. But we did want to throw the bottom box in there because we do understand, and what we're trying to do is take dexes and bridges and bring them together into one platform. So we think we can, in a way, our revenue models are going to reflect both of those volume numbers in terms of the market we're trying to capture, but it is hard to map that out exactly because what we're doing, it hasn't been done before and doesn't have a ton of data. So the models we're going to show you here in a few minutes are based off of the top box there, off of 24-hour volume in bridges, and that's what we're kind of running our numbers off of. But we do want to make it known that obviously we're trying to capture part of that DEX volume as well with what we're building. So here are our not financial advice estimates here. So based on the average bridge volume estimates of DeFi Llama, like I was just showing you, this is what we're projecting. Now this is making quite a few assumptions here based off of paper staked, bridge miners at that point in time, ink staked. It is making some generalized assumptions, but that's the only way you can spit out any numbers when running revenue models, especially with something like I said that is so new to the market. But one thing, the reason we're putting this up here is we want to really hammer down the sustainable APR numbers there, right? So these are all subject to change because APRs are fluid. It depends on volume on a day-to-day basis. They move. It depends on how many people are staked in the pool. But based off all of the numbers we've run, and we've run quite a few of them, as you can see from the wonderful spreadsheet Atlas put together, and this is just one of the probably 4 or 5 spreadsheets we've been working off of for revenue models in the last 5 months combined as a team. We've run enough numbers that these are sustainable APRs that we can put out for people. We're not promising the 1000% APR, and I am super happy that we're not. And I think everyone else here should be, because if you see 1000% APR, I don't know if Austin is still in here or not, but I know he's always hammering that is just absolutely ridiculous, and I couldn't agree more. It's not sustainable and it doesn't make sense. But what we can do is provide you a sustainable APR that is sourced by outside revenue from a great product that we're selling. That's reasonable and it's solid as well. As you look at some of these numbers, these are good numbers. They're going to yield you solid sustainable returns long term. And that's what we want. That's what we're trying to do for people. We're trying to make this thing sustainable and keep this bad boy running until the end of time. And if we can do that, then everybody that's involved is going to be very happy. So keeping this sustainable, making sure this thing doesn't cannibalize itself, is of the utmost importance. And everybody who's here that's been involved in DeFi and crypto for a long enough time, I think we should all agree that once you start seeing really high numbers, you start to see that cannibalization of your project. Next thing you know, the project is gone, and we don't want to see that. So we want to give back sustainable numbers that make sense, and we're going to try to stay transparent and visualize that to the community as much as possible. So that's why we wanted to throw that up there. But we're really excited about these numbers, even on the low end. They're very very good, very attractive. So, um,
Yeah,
Bobby
to
or
to
Cletus, anything
to,
else?
to, to yeah, to add on a little bit to that, these are all baseline. And you can see here that the ink price and the paper price, we have those calculated out for the baseline of what we believe those prices will be, and that's based on the depth of liquidity, how how many people are staked into the LP. It's based on formulas, and this is the baseline of what the paper price will be. So we can actually forecast that outwards to see what will the paper price be as our daily volume increases, as the depth of LP increases. They're all functions of each other, but this is a baseline foundation given these numbers that we have up here of what you can expect to see for the ink price, for the paper price, for all of our estimates, for our low, medium, and our top 10 estimate here. Where BF, if you're curious what BF means, that stands for bull factor, where the entire market, like the native tokens on the chain, all 2x, all 3x, and so on. So we're accounting for a lot of variables here, and we're trying to bring something that makes sense. We're not trying to say any marketing gimmicks. A lot of these projects, they'll come out to you and they'll lie to their community to say, oh yeah, well, we can bring in 10 times what the normal market is doing right now. I can think of a project off the top of my head that's doing that right now, and we're not about that. We want to be real with you guys, and we want to focus on education. That this is what we're planning on doing. This is what's sustainable. This is what's out here. This is real. This isn't fake. This isn't some marketing gimmick. Giving you guys the real stats, what's really out there.
Yeah, this is just a quick visualization. It's really hard to put all these numbers into graphs because the low end is so skewed from the high end. As we know, crypto ramps up pretty quickly, and when you're looking at the high end bridges versus the low end bridges, there's a large difference in revenue there. But this is just kind of shows you how quickly things ramp up, in terms of prices. So blue number is ink price, purple number is paper price, with the turquoise tealish number being the yearly revenue. X-axis is just our daily volume, so that is how we calculate things. So as a team, when we are running numbers and we're trying to make projections, we're trying to decide what makes sense, we're going off of assumptions based off daily volume. So what if we're at this daily volume, what does this look like? If we're at this daily volume, what does this look like? We believe that's the easiest way to track that and project things. So just wanted to give you guys a little visualization of how that ramps up over time. It's kind of hard to understand it just because those numbers are so skewed there. But just a little visualization there. But I'm definitely excited to show you the next one, which I kind of spent a little bit of time making last night. So this is
It's
just
fantastic, by the way.
thank you,
I
sir.
love this.
Yeah, I love seeing this. This is always visually appealing to look at an alluvial diagram. But this is an alluvial of our revenue distribution. Now, the way that this works is I don't have any numbers in there because percentages vary over time, based off of a few different things. So in our revenue models, most of it are set percentages. we have a couple numbers in there that are static numbers and things like overhead and a few other places in there, and that's just for cost of doing business and stuff like that. So those tubes will change a little bit over time, but this is a representation of what we want our revenue distribution to look like. This is what we as a project, this is our goal. Okay, so this is what we're going for. And it's a nice visualization to show you of where our revenue comes from, how it's getting filtered over time, and where it's ending up. And so just wanted to show you guys this. To me, this is a really easy way to kind of understand where the money comes in and where the money's going out over time. It's nice to see Dex revenue. Okay, I can see exactly, there's a chunk going to bridge miners straight off the top. There's a chunk going to paper LP right off the top. There's a chunk going to ink LP right off the top. And then you can see what's filtered through protocol, operational profit, and so forth. So we just wanted to visualize that for people so you guys can understand at least mentally what we're planning on doing with the revenue and how it's going to look on the back end, so you guys understand how we get to that end point. Because what you'll see obviously is money in and then the distribution at the end, but you won't see anything in the middle for the most part. So we want to kind of be transparent here and kind of explain to you what this distribution will look like. So this will get put, we're working on getting this in an animated format, and we're going to try to get this up on the landing page or in the white paper or something like this, so you guys can reference this at any point in time. But yeah, very excited about that little diagram. I think that's cool. And then yeah, this is our competition slide. So this just all we're trying to do here, guys, is show you that we are doing our competition research. Okay, so we do plenty of research every day, honestly, on competition. I know Cletus is always sending me links. I'm sending him links. Pista's sending us links. Hey, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? So we wanted to diagram out with some of our largest competitors the difference between us and them, really, right? So you can see, right, for someone like multi-chain who is just the bridge, right, all the things that we offer that multi-chain doesn't offer, right? And some of these are utilities, some of these are how the actual service operates, right, being cost effective and instant. Utilities being DEX, bridge, and token routing, and then the trustless and decentralized portion down at the bottom, referencing bridge miners and the fact that we have no bridge liquidity to drain. So this is a nice little visualization as well. We're going to have this presentation posted somewhere. So anytime you want to be able to reference this and say, okay, well, how is CryptoLink, or if someone asks you, how is CryptoLink different than Elk, right? Well, here are the three things that Elk offers that we also offer, but here are the three things that we offer that they don't offer, right? So you can see these things and visualize them. But we think this is a really powerful tool to show you guys. And I think it really drives the point home of what we're offering here. One-stop shop for that cross-chain transaction, and a really smooth user experience to go along with it that you can't find both of those things packaged together anywhere else on this chart. And if anybody else finds something like it, please bring it to us. We'd love to see it and check it out. But over the last 5 months of lots of market research, we have not found anything that can compete with what we do. So just wanted to make sure that we put that in front of you guys so you can see it. You guys can show people this slide if they have any questions. We want to try to arm the community with as much stuff as well. So if people ask you guys, or if you guys want to, help get the word out, you guys have all of the ammunition and the knowledge to do so. So make sure you reference these slides, guys. I think this is a really powerful one right here, because these are definitely four of the top competitors that we hear all the time. How are you guys different than Elk? How are you different from Rubik? How are you different from Sushi Swap? Well, these are exactly what we do. So. All right.
Yeah.
Just take it away.
Sure. So this slide right here is a bit of a build on from our previous town hall. You'll notice that Q3 and Q4, we're starting to get towards the end of Q4 now, where I want to first take a step back and look at where we have come from Q3 and into Q4 and then onwards. So we started off Q3 really with that rebrand. We then launched our Cross-Chain Cosmonauts NFT series. In Q4, we partnered with Goss, which is a layer one curated blockchain. We have announced our bridge miners now and the cross-chain DEX, which all is coming in Q4, and then expanding outwards and looking towards the future here. The any to any expansion is what we're calling it, where we're going to start whitelisting tokens to go onto the any to any swap DEX, where if there's a token that you'd like to see on there, we urge you guys to communicate with us on it. If there's a project that you'd like, let us know. We're going to add it to the any to any swap DEX. And as in Q2, we're going to continue to work with projects relating to TBAS, work with other chains. That's really going on throughout. That's going on now. It's going on through Q1. Just threw it on Q2 as well because that's really something that's happening all the time. We've been in more talks with projects that are interested in TBAS in the past 2 weeks than we have in the past 3 months. The entire community, the DeFi space, is starting to realize the benefits of multi-chain, and we're here. We're ready to provide it for them, and it's something that we're very very excited about. Now we have an update on Goss for those of you in the crowd who know about Goss and are psyched about it. Wonder if Ferret is in here. Ferret loves Goss, and we do as well. Goss is the new blockchain that we're going to be launching on, and we're also releasing our NFTs on Goss. They are going to have a unique NFT collection just pertaining to the Goss blockchain. So when are we launching on Goss? Well, we're going to launch on Goss once Goss is ready for us. We are ready to go. We're ready to start testing, and the testing phase will soon begin as we start integrating in with their chain. We are ready to go and are looking forward to launching on their blockchain. Now, for the Goss NFTs, you're going to see 3 up there. Each one of those is just an instantiation, whatever that word is. It is 1 in 100 of the NFTs that we have. So the first one on the left-hand side is of the lowest tier. That is our Spacebound tier. There are 80 mints of that given type, where the middle one is our second tier, and that is Planet. I always forget the names here. Our middle tier, where Spacebound. Wally, help me out. Solar Traveler. We initially named it Planet Hopper, so I always get those two confused. Solar Traveler is our middle tier, where our highest tier is the Interdimensional Explorer, where there's only 2 mints per chain, and for there's only 2 mints here. This is the rarest of them. This is a ferret wearing sunglasses with laser eyes, and I think that somebody who is either in the crowd or will in the future watch this probably will want this one. This is a very very exotic NFT. Now, Goss will be providing discounts or subsidies to NFT purchasers on the NFT on their blockchain, and this is only going to be for Iron or their Pharaoh NFT holders. So if you hold one of Goss's NFTs, you'll be able to receive special discounts on the CryptoLink NFTs that are on the Goss blockchain. So for the first 40 NFTs that are minted on the Goss blockchain, Goss will be providing $50 off and will also give 150 of their gang token for those. And then next, for the next middle 10 NFTs that are minted, Goss is actually going to be minting these themselves, where they're going to be airdropping them to Iron or Pharaoh NFT holders. And then the last 50 NFTs are going to be given, in addition to the NFT itself, 100 of the gang token. We have a new partnership announcement as well. We will be working with another chain called Friend Chain. They're building the friendliest chain on the block, where they're a layer 1 EVM, branding themselves as a meme chain, the best meme chain out there. They say that they are builders with attitude, where we are now their preferred sponsored bridging solution. So we're going to be interacting with them a lot. Uh, we'll be talking with a lot of projects that they have on their chain for TBAS and a lot of other options for them. And so we're very excited to be just announcing this at first, and more updates on Friend Chain to come in Q1 of 2023. Lastly, we are moving our cross-chain chats to Twitter Spaces. Twitter Spaces we have seen an eruption recently in the amount of crypto projects that are on Twitter, the amount of a pull that has, and we want to be able to capture that market. And in order to do that, we're moving our cross-chain chats over to Twitter Spaces, and we might also add an additional factor onto the cross-chain chats. We're still toying with this idea to have other projects start pitching on our cross-chain chats, so our community, you guys, can hear more from these other projects. They can get their word out more, and as we hear more about other projects, that is a direct line into to hearing about what their needs are, where projects are starting to realize they want to go multi-chain. That makes sense. If they're pitching on our platform and they say we want to go multi-chain, it's perfect. It's a perfect marriage where, okay, we can bring you multi-chain. That's what we do. That's the main value that we provide is multi-chain interoperability to other projects and to users. So with that, wanna wrap up here of just the general presentation